Alabama State lands a big-time four-star recruit transfer from Auburn at quarterback. We're going to talk about it and what this means as the SWAC continues to heat up with big-time prospects after the bumper. What is up, everybody? What is up, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, Dematrius Davis, a former four-star out of the state of Texas, quarterback, transfer from Auburn, is going to play for Alabama State. Yes, he is going to play for the Hornets this upcoming season. He has announced his transfer via Twitter. He announced it on Twitter and let the world know, hey, DP is headed to Alabama State. Let me see if I can bring this up. Let's take a look at the Alabama.com article that was put out about this, and then I'll dive into what I think it means for not only Alabama State, but the strength of the SWAC. It says former Auburn quarterback Dematrius Davis transferring to Alabama State. Former Auburn quarterback won't be venturing too far from Plains to his next stop on his journey. Davis, a redshirt freshman, committed to Alabama State Monday night. As he announced on his Twitter, Davis entered the transfer portal last month, and after the first week of spring practices at Auburn, a former four-star recruit out of the state of Texas, where he was one of the most decorated high school quarterbacks in the state's history, Davis signed with Auburn in 2021. Davis remained on board through, he was third string last year behind Bo Nix, behind TJ Finley. He was fighting for a starting spot, but after the first week of spring practices at Auburn, he decided, hey, I think I'm going to take my talents elsewhere, and that elsewhere happens to be an HBCU. He'll get a chance at Alabama State, where he will be one of the highest rated prospects, probably the highest rated prospect since recruiting services took into account all this stars and stuff at Alabama State. He joins a quarterback room in Montgomery that includes Ryan Nettles, as well as Miles Cawley and Joe Owens Jr., who all started at least one game last year. Nettles threw for 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. He did have 7 interceptions. Crawley threw for 5 touchdowns to just 1 interception, but only a 53% completion percentage. Eddie Robinson Jr. is the new head coach at Alabama State after they had a disappointing season going 5-6. And now he has what you need if you even want to think about having a successful year, and that is a good quarterback. At least is what they think. They hope he'll be a good quarterback. Now, like I said, ranking stars, that matters to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, you got to go out there and you got to produce on the field. So let's take a look at Dematrius Davis. We'll take a look at some of the guys he'll be going up against in that quarterback room in Montgomery. So this was his 247 profile coming out of high school. He's a 5'10", 200-pound quarterback out of Houston, Texas. Consensus 4-star on 24/7. The 200, right there in the 200 range as far as prospects, right there around the 34th, 35th prospect in the state of Texas. A really really good state with great prospects. He's the 35th best player in Texas. They send 100 kids in Division I, 150 kids in Division I every single year. It's ridiculous. So this young man was really good coming out of North Shore High School in Houston, Texas. Now, if we go to Alabama State, this is their QB room. Like I said, Mr. Ryan, he was a redshirt freshman. He's a lot bigger than Dematrius, at least height-wise, 6'4". He had some good games against Bethune-Cookman, a 2-touchdown game, but a 2-interception game. Alabama A&M, a 3-touchdown game, only 1 interception, 243 yards, 260 against Bethune-Cookman, 197 against Miles College. These are some solid games, but he struggled. And he only completed 59% of his passes. Let's go to Mr. Crawley, who had a really good game against Pine Bluff, but then came against Jackson State and kind of, didn't have that great of a game. But he had 5 touchdowns on the year to only 1 interception, but he only completed 53% of his passes. Now, granted, once again, this is all limited action. This is all limited duty. And the majority of these stats come against the game against Jackson State. And we all know Jackson State had the best defense in the conference, had a ferocious pass rush. So, but what this means, this is really good for Alabama State in a couple of things. Because one, it adds to their quarterback room, and the only chance you have it being a good team is if you have a quarterback. Let's be honest. In any college, at the college level, at the Division I college level, at the NFL level, hell, even at the high school level, you're not going to be that successful of a team if you don't have a good quarterback. Now, we have yet, we don't know how good of a quarterback Dematrius Davis will be, but he comes in with good accolades. He comes in with a really good high school tape, and he comes in from a high-level Division I program. Granted, he wasn't able to win the job there, but that doesn't mean he's a soup sandwich. And he comes in with years of eligibility left, like 4 years of eligibility left, 3-4 years of eligibility left. That's huge. That is going to be big for Alabama State, and that is going to be big for Coach Eddie Robinson if he hopes to build this program up to be competitive against the Grambling, against the Jackson States, against the FAMUs. He's going to need the quarterback because Jackson State got their quarterback for the next couple of years. Grambling, they brought in a bunch of quarterbacks. They hopefully out of one of those guys have their quarterback for the next couple of years. FAMU brought in some guys. They hopefully have their quarterback of the future in the program. And so Alabama State and Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. is like, hey, I need to bring in my quarterback of the future. I need to bring in a guy that I hope can compete for the starting job and that can elevate my team and that can make my team better and that can help me be competitive in this ever-growing, ever more competitive SWAC division. This isn't your cousin's SWAC. This isn't the SWAC of 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. This is the new age SWAC, where they're using social media, where they're going out and getting big-time recruits, getting big-time transfers, getting big-time players both out of the high school and out of the transfer portal. This is what you need to do if you want to stay competitive, if you want to stay relevant. Dematrius Davis, I think, can be a playmaker for Alabama State. Now, we got to see what type of offense they run. We have to see what their skill positions look like. But he could be a big-time player for this program. He could be a big-time player for the city of Montgomery, for Alabama State. And I cannot wait to see him on the field. I cannot wait to see what he is able to bring to that QB room. And we got ourselves a ball player. I believe in Dematrius Davis. I think he's a stud. And I think Alabama State landing him, they landed a stud. We'll see what they're able to do with him. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram at JLightsy7. I post my content on there first. Hit that thumbs up button. And you also subscribe to my YouTube channel, JeffLightsYJr on YouTube. Subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.